Hello ladies, good morning. How is everybody feeling today? I'm just having my cacao this morning and just taking it very easy this morning. And I just felt the urge really strongly to come on and share with you something which came up for me yesterday around honoring tenderness. Tenderness is not something that we have generally, historically, growing up, been encouraged to honor. And I'm sure that many of you can probably remember as children being told that you were overly sensitive. That was definitely something which my mother often used to say to me, "You're too sensitive. You've got to stop." And I was like, "Got to stop what, Mommy?" She's like, "You've got to stop feeling everything so much." And I remember watching films, especially films about animals, and being told that by her that if I couldn't, stop responding in such an emotional way, that she wouldn't let me watch those films anymore. So I'm sure that it is something which many of us experienced in our childhood, was this thing of being told to stop being so sensitive. And one of the deepest aspects of my own healing journey has been to reclaim my sensitivity as a superpower. And my invitation this morning to you is to just give you a framework for what that might look like to reclaim your sensitivity, instead of being ashamed of it, instead of trying to push it away, instead of trying to pretend and to armor up to appear less sensitive in a world that doesn't support that. How can we, in the safety of our own home environment at least, begin to give that aspect of ourself space? And tenderness, a feeling of tenderness came up for me yesterday afternoon when I came back from work, and I did something which I very rarely do. I went straight to bed. And the part of me that came yesterday, the part of me that got activated, was the very sensitive child part of me. And very often when we are about to do something big, or we're about to expand in some way, that sensitive child aspect of ourselves will present. She will present because she will feel afraid. And I think one of the misconceptions around transformational work and healing work, inner work, however you want to phrase it, whatever terminology feels resonant for you, but I think one of the misconceptions we have is that we have to be constantly growing, evolving, up leveling, all these kind of words. And actually, if you just drop into your heart frequency, the heart space, the physiological movement of the heart is a constant contraction, expansion, right? That's what the heart is doing all the time. Every contraction creates the momentum for the next expansion. So if you are about to do something new, about to do something big, about to do something scary, feeling some kind of change coming, it is a very natural reflex to also feel a contraction. Before every expansion, there's a contraction. And if we can make friends with that rhythm inside of ourselves rather than fighting it or thinking that the contraction part is wrong, if we can reframe it that the contraction part is actually really natural, it will really help us to honor the part of us that resists change, the part of us that's scared to step up and do something new, or to claim our power or our voice in some way that feels uncomfortable. That contraction is absolutely a natural part of the process. So for me, because I am very close now, just a few days away from starting to deliver the lives for the Inner Twins module, something for those of you who are coaches or for those of you who are in some way therapists or into this kind of work, what happens is when we agree to hold space for certain healing work, we ourselves are often brought into the frequencies of the things that we're supporting others to work with, right? So for me, it feels like a big responsibility to do the inner child work with people. It's very powerful work. It's very skilled work. And I feel incredibly ready to do it. And at the same time, there is a part of me that is scared. And last night, that very sensitive child part of me, the part of me that felt afraid, that feels afraid to step forward into this powerful container and lead it, she appeared. And what we tend to do when that part of us that's scared appears is we tend to numb out. We tend to look for a pacifier, whether that's a drink, a glass of wine, whether that's going online, whether that's going out and distracting ourselves with the company of other people. We tend to find ways of not feeling that sensitivity, not feeling that fear, not honoring the contraction. And last night I was really guided to honor that sensitive child part of me that felt afraid to lead this work. So I asked her, what do you need? What do you need from me? And she said, I need to feel safe. And I said, how can I support you with that? What do you need? Where do you need to be? And she said, I need to just be in bed, wrapped up in a blanket, feeling warm. So I said, okay, would you like a hot water bottle? She said, yes. And I kept asking my inner child, what do you need? Because when we were little and we went into these sensitive, wounded feelings, these scared feelings, very often the adults around us either gave us sweets or gave us money or gave us something to distract us, to make us temporarily feel better, or they told us to snap out of it, either a distraction or something to make us stop feeling, because they were not able to hold space all the time for such strong feelings that children often experience. And there's nothing, this is not condemning that in the adult, it's just acknowledging now that we were not given the model for how to hold space for our sensitivity, right? So this inner work is, how do we learn to parent ourselves in a way that feels nurturing, loving, present, generous? So particularly last night, I was really aware of practicing the generosity aspect of this and asking my inner child, what do you need? And she needed to feel safe. She needed to feel warm. So I gave her the hot water bottle, gave her the blanket, wrapped her in the duvet. And I kept asking her what else. She needed her Rupert bear. So I brought my bear that my grandma made for me years ago, and just brought the bear and had the bear on my chest. And even just feeling the comfort of that childhood bear on my chest was really comforting to my inner child. And I said, what else do you like? What else would you like? And she said, she would really like to have a hot apple juice. And that was something which as a child I was sometimes given if I wasn't feeling very well. So it felt really comforting to have the hot apple juice. I asked her what else she would like, and she said she would like some tiger balm on the nose and on the temples. You know, again, there's something about that warming feeling, and she wanted me to put some on my heart. So we had the tiger balm, we had the hot apple juice, we were wrapped up in a duvet, we had the hot water bottle. And then I asked her, what would you like to watch? And she wanted to watch something that was nourishing to her soul, something, you know, peaceful. And we decided to watch a nature program together. And the whole evening for me last night was all centered around nurturing this child aspect of me that had gone deep into her sensitivity and deep into her fear of having to show up and hold space and be a leader. In that space last night, there was a lot of fear around that. And so I consciously worked with that archetype last night. I consciously worked with that child, that sensitive child that just needed space to be seen. And I allowed myself to feel the fear, to feel the desire to hide, to feel the desire to be wrapped up and to feel safe and to feel warm. And because I intentionally dedicated myself to her last night, guess what? This morning, although the sensitivity is still there, which is absolutely okay, I'm absolutely okay with that feeling of sensitivity now. I realized that it's a beautiful feeling. It's the tenderness of the heart is a reminder that we're actually alive. We're feeling beings. We're not robots on autopilot all the time, going to work, to-do lists, planning, or dealing with other people's needs of us, you know. Sometimes we're guided back into the heart space. Often the inner child shows up to guide us back into the heart space, to guide us back into the present moment, to guide us back into the body. You know, if you think about the things that my inner child asked of me last night, it was the tiger balm, the smell, it was the hot apple juice, it was the smell of the apple juice, the taste, you know, the feeling of the hot water bottle. It was a very sensual, you know, experience that I gave my inner child last night. And because I honored her so fully and attended to her needs so attentively, when I woke up this morning, she had dissolved. The fear is not there this morning. The fear has dissolved because I consciously worked with her last night. And this is what I want to guide you to learn how to do for those of you who are going to do the Inner Twins module with me starting this weekend. I want to help you to know how to work with the wounded child archetype, because the more fully you can give her your attention, the more quickly she dissolves and allows your path to be cleared again, to move towards whatever expansion it is you're moving towards, whatever it is you're building, whatever vision you've got. You know, she will clear out of the way when we give her our full attention. But when we keep trying to keep her in the basement, when we keep trying to avoid her, ignore her, condemn her, tell her to shut up, tell her to go away, and tell her how inconvenient she is, she will continue to block our path. She will continue to block us moving to the next level of whatever it is we're meant to move to the next level of in our life, in our vision for whatever it is we want to create. So learning to work consciously with the sensitive child is key to allowing the empowered woman to move forwards. This is a co-creation between you, your wounded child, and your magical child that wants to lead you on so many adventures. So there are 8 of us that are going to move into this container together on Saturday. I have space for another 2 women at least. So if you are feeling inspired by what I'm saying this morning, and if you are feeling like, you know what, I really want to learn the strategies and the energetic coding behind how to work with the wounded child, the sensitive child, and how to tap into the magical child so that my adult woman can flourish in ways that are actually inconceivable when we don't fully know how to do this in a child work. If you're feeling the resonance of what I'm saying and you would like to join, it would be my absolute honor to have you. You will feel it. You will feel it if it's for you. My words will activate you in some way. You may not fully know at your mind level what it is that we'll be doing or what it is that you're stepping into, but you'll just feel an opening in your heart. You'll just feel like, oh my God, I don't know what this is, but there's something there for me. I just feel it. So if there is, the door is open. Reach out to me. You can send me a message and you can say, I'm feeling drawn to this program. I would like to be part of it. There are 8 of us, so it's a really small held group. It's not a huge group at all. And I've purposely kept it relatively small so that every one of you who steps into it with me feels safe, feels held, feels seen. That is so important with this inner child work. I'm going to be creating a separate group, which is private, for the people who've signed up for it, so that obviously we're going into our own container together. And I'm going to be setting that group up and inviting people into it later on today. So you haven't missed anything yet. Everything is still to be revealed. If you would like to step into it, then simply message me and you will be extremely welcome. For everybody else, I really hope that what I've shared this morning has touched you in some way. Please do, if you watch this later, just drop me a little comment about this whole idea of sensitivity and how you have been conditioned to feel about that quality, you know, whether you were conditioned to believe that it was bad, whether you had it stamped out of you, and how you are working with that now consciously. If you are, I'm really curious to know how you're working with reclaiming that sensitivity, because it's such a gift. It's such a gift. Your intuition is linked to your sensitivity. Your inner guidance system is linked to your sensitivity. Your ability to keep yourself safe is linked to your sensitivity. Your ability to feel your emotions is linked to your sensitivity. Your creative potential is linked to your sensitivity. Your ability to love other humans and really let them in is directly linked to your sensitivity. So it's time that we call it back, that we reframe it, and that we reclaim it. And that is the work that I want to guide you through. I feel so inspired and I feel so honored to lead this work. So there is space for you if you want to come. And if not, there will be plenty of other opportunities to do other things as part of the Goddess Ascension program. So I'm sending you all so much love. I hope you have a beautiful day. If you're feeling sensitive today, I know the full moon energies are playing their part as well. There's a lunar eclipse. There's lots of things going on in the astrals that could be creating feelings of sensitivity or fatigue. You might be feeling really exhausted or overwhelmed. So I really encourage you, to honor that feeling if it's coming up. That if you're feeling the need to cocoon, then tonight, when all of your other responsibilities are over and done with, ask yourself, what do you need? What do you desire? And see what your inner being tells you. She might surprise you with what she would desire from you to feel cocooned and safe and held. So I will leave you with that, wishing you a beautiful day, and I will talk to you very soon.